guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we're going to be setting up some automation and working on EMC production. So I hope you guys are ready. So a lot of you guys have been telling me, Chosen, make the watch a flowing time. Well, I'm going to show you that it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. I'm on the latest version, and of course, the watch of flowing time requires orange matter, which does matter in our case, as 60 G is quite a lot for us to get at the moment. Yeah, or 20, I guess that's 20 billion. Is going to take a little bit to get. We currently do not have that potential yet, but we will eventually. Once we get there, we'll probably use the watch of time to kind of speed these things along. Until then, we can work on our automation and get our automation of things started, since we have a lot of time to do that. So right here, we are kind of looking at that. I'm not too sure how to use the crafter. I went ahead and made it and got it ready because I think this is how I want to set things up. But let's go ahead and get, let's see, conduit. Let's grab some item conduits here. And then we already have our energy condenser right here, ready to go. We have an isotope separator, so you might know what I'm doing with this. And all of this is going to be so we have fuel for this massive reactor I made. And yes, I did replace the lapis with water blocks. These are water coolers that are in here. But this now produces one about every 65 seconds or so. And there's 110 cells in this bad boy. This thing is basically just here to burn through TBU fuel, because that's the only way we're going to be able to get to that final tier fuel. We need this bad boy burning through a lot of it. Yeah, it's going to take a bit. It's definitely going to be worth it, though, as we are going to set up the automation to be able to make TBU fuel, as we're going to be going through a bunch of it. So to do that, we need to basically say, hey, I want this chemical to go in here. We're going to also need to purchase a chemical dissolver, I believe, or is it the chemical combiner, not the dissolver? I need to buy another chemical combiner. We're going to combine this with some power. See what I did there? Yeah, we're going to get some power going. So also need some more conduit. And all these are going to be hooked up with item conduits. So we're also need to break this down here because this is going to be hooked up to an item conduit. Awesome. So this is getting power. We're going to lock a recipe in here in a little bit. But yeah, we're going to get this all separated. So the isotope separator is going to convert a few things. First of all, let's, I guess, pull out the stuff that we need. I guess I could do that over here, couldn't I? I can pull out all the stuff. So we're going to need some thorium right here. So we can go ahead and pull thorium out. And then we can also lock in the recipe for thorium here. We can be like, okay, what's thorium give? We'll do the ingots. And then we'll set this to pull out thorium. Now we need to give this some kind of fuel. And to do that, I mean, I could give it, for right now, I guess, let's see. This is a pretty hefty ticket item here. So I guess I can give it a magenta for right now. And that's going to fuel it for quite a while. And as you can see, like, this is going to just start emptying here. We need to get that resource pulled over here. So here's where our item conduit and everything else is going to start functioning. We're also going to need our Yeta wrench because it's almost impossible to work with these things without a Yeta wrench. All right, so let's just go ahead and line this whole thing because all of these are going to be running on separate channels. It's probably going to get kind of complicated, but since we have Ender IO, it's going to be a little bit easier than most pipes. So first of all, we want to extract into this chemical combiner, and we don't want it to go anywhere else. We just want it to go here. So the best way to do that is just make sure it's on a channel, any channel, make sure it's active, and then over here, make sure that the insert on green is turned on. We also want to extract from this same section. So we're going to put this on brown, and this is going to be heading into our isotope separator. So if we take our isotope separator, make sure this is always active, we'll set this insert to brown and turn that on. Now we want to pull out two different things here. This is where we're probably going to need a filter. And I think, I'm going to do two filters just to be on the safe side. So this thing is going to break down two separate things. We're going to take a look here. One of them is going to go into a drawer. One of them is going to go into this crafter. And I need to figure out how to set this up. I'm guessing just like this. Yeah, and that should automatically craft for us. Let's see, buffer stacked items. Yeah, everything should be fine here. So hopefully that'll work. I've never used this as a new block to me. So we're going to figure it out together. All right, so this is going to be extract. We're going to extract on the blue channel. Always active. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to insert on the blue channel. But this is going to have a filter. And we're going to put the tiny clumps in this filter. Over here, this is going to have a filter as well. And it's going to be the large. We probably don't need to have this filter here, but I'm doing it just because. All right, and then this needs to be on blue as well. And then we can set that to insert and set this one to insert. We can turn off the extract because we don't need these to be extracting from here right now. And that's pretty much all configured. There's your automation. And this is already producing the TBU fuel. So what do we need to do next? Well, I think we can probably utilize some ender chests. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go with gray. I think we have some gray dye. Maybe we have some gray dye. I'm just going to do, I guess, one gray dye right on the top. I love how this looks just like that almost. The textures are very similar to gray dye. We're just going to do two. One dot a piece. So we'll do these next to one another. And like I said, this will be set to gray. That'll be set to gray. Just kind of able to, just let's us keep an eye on it. We'll set that here, right? And then this is really nice because we can just set this to push, right? And that's going to push that into here so we have TBU fuel. And then what we'll do is we'll just run it down here. And we'll run it into this connection right here. So we can just place the chest right here. And then we'll hook up some item conduits going directly into this. Now this is going to allow us to have a few more things because we're going to be able to automate some more features, like putting things directly into this reprocessor. We're going to do that here in a second. First, let's get this inserting properly. So of course, you hold down shift and you left click to access anything that's connected to a machine without having to click on the node. And we'll set this to extract on the green channel, always active. And then of course, we'll set this to the green channel. And then I'm going to set the extract on the brown channel because this is going to be something separate. And we're just going to run a conduit back here. And that's going to go into this machine. So what we can do is put the insert on the brown channel. And this is going to insert now any of the bad stuff. It should anyways. And we might have to set the configuration here for the input slot. It says anything can go in. I don't think that's true because it's not allowing this to be pulled out. And oh, you know what? I probably don't have this turned on. Always active. There we go. So there it goes. Now it's doing the reprocessing stuff. We need to pull the stuff out of the reprocessor and we need to kind of get it going somewhere as well. So I went ahead and got a few things crafted up. A basic drawer controller setup is going to be what I'm going to use. And I'm just going to go ahead and place the drawers right here. There's 4 different things that can go in here. So if I just place, get that going kind of crazy. If I just throw this here, right, and we just put a conduit, we can go, all right, I want to extract right here, always active, insert. And now this should automatically fill these sections here with the appropriate fuel. And this is going to allow us to basically store large quantities of this stuff. And that's what we want. We want this to be stored in large quantities. Now, over here, I don't have the best EMC setup, right? This is not infinite EMC. You can see we've already ran out of EMC, basically. So what I can do is potentially get our old school setup from down here, our squid farm, and we can use that as an EMC generating setup. Of course, we are generating EMC naturally, but that's different from how we can generate EMC here. Even though, with an MK2, we can totally generate EMC enough to provide for things, but just not quite yet. You know what? Speaking of the MK2, I think we might be able to do that. We might be able to get ourselves an MK2. So if we get ourselves an MK2, we can actually utilize the ProjectEx stuff, and it'll just passively generate EMC into whatever we're trying to generate EMC from, which would be really useful. especially since we can utilize some rather large things that can be generated. I don't know. It's kind of, we'll have to see, because this right here, you have your different transfer rates, and then you have the transfer rates for these as well. So let's look into doing that. So we're going to need a little bit of red matter, right? I'm going to go ahead and just make this for right now into the block. Red and shiny. There we go. And we're going to need 4 of those. And then we're going to need 4 of the dark matter. And that should be enough to make the MK2. Nice. And that completed a quest for us as well for the MK2. Gets us a little bit of money. Okay, so the MK2 is nice. So we're going to swap the MK2 out. I actually need that to be on the plus. I guess we can pull this. Make sure we pick that up. We definitely need the MK2 setup here. Right? All right, and we're going to set up thorium. With that set up, we can start to look at other things here. So we have our red matter relay. And with that, I think we can utilize this, maybe? Will this actually go up against this and actually work? I don't know if these things do. No, these cannot be placed. So we're going to have to surround it with these, which do 40 for right now. So if we surround this, like so, this is generating EMC in our energy condenser, right? And the only way to expand this out, right? The only way to expand this out for right now is to do this. And then just add some more of those on the outside. For right now. It looks really ugly. Believe me, it does. But this right here actually is generating EMC at a pretty decent rate now. It's enough to produce some of this. Even though 16 of those is what it takes to produce the thorium needed, I mean, it kind of works. But I think we need to work on upgrading these collectors for sure. So upgrading through these colors is just, I mean, it's pretty tedious. You just kind of have to go through here over and over again. And just keep adding this. It's the same recipe, I believe, is 6 of the Eternalist fuel, and then 3 of whatever matter you're trying to upgrade. Right? And so that keeps going up to purple matter, and it keeps going up and up and up. So that is a good way to kind of build up EMC. If we had a personal EMC link, which should be in here, we can kind of switch how things are working. Like this actually should be pretty, we should be able to make this, I believe. We need 4 red matter blocks and dark matter, right? Because we need to make another energy condenser, MK2. So there's that. And then we need to make the EMC link. So this is literally just a few things. All right, so we need 4 more red matter. And I think we can actually make the personal EMC link. That'd be really nice if we can. Look at that. Okay. Oh, these were EMC-seeable already. I should have looked at that. Ah, they're right there. But the red matter, we just need red matter blocks. That's where we're going to come into probably the issue. And almost enough for 1 more red matter block. But it's okay. We do have room for these things. Like we do have some more EMC that's sitting back here. Actually, a lot of EMC that's sitting back there. Perfect. And this is not an EMC-able item, but it will be amazing to get this thing set up. So let's go ahead and break these. These, of course, have a lot of EMC in them because they cost a lot to make. Look at that. And what are we going to do with this? Well, we can start slowly but surely upgrading into better things now that we have an EMC link. We don't have to use the lower tier power flowers. We can slowly upgrade our power flowers in a different manner. That's going to let us generate more EMC faster. And to describe that best is to probably just show you what this thing's going to do. We're going to base it off the same premise that I just showed you a minute ago. And this is how we're going to go through here. So we have our pink matter and our purple matter. That's probably the best that we have at the moment, because we're just going to be making these upgraded things. So let's work on upgrading these. This is a magenta matter, and this right here is that. So to upgrade these, we just add them to here. And that changes the EMC values. And of course, we link those. And then we upgrade these to the purple versions. And what you want to do is just keep upgrading as far as you can until you run out of EMC. Because that's going to be inevitably your stopping point. So right now we're kind of at a stopping point, because we need to upgrade our purple fuel. So remember, it's 3 of these, 3 of your next tier, and that's just going to upgrade you into the next color, which is going to be the violet matter. And you're going to keep going until, like I said, until you hit a stopping point, until you don't have enough EMC to upgrade things anymore. So here's where things get a little bit crazy. So how I mentioned before that we can have this thing right here transferring, and then we can just basically set up the same framework that we used before. Well, you notice that we have each tier below. This will give us 10,000 per second. This also gives us a relay bonus of 3,000 on top of that. And this is why this setup versus just shooting straight for the power flyer pots is probably going to be your best bet. It's starting out, yes, the flyer powers are great because you don't have a personal EMC link. But this right here is actually going to be a really good way of doing this. So let's take a look here. So we just kind of need to keep going down the tier list until we run out of EMC. And we only need 1 relay for right now because we don't have enough to worry about other relays. So we just keep going down from whatever gives us the most EMC. Right now it looks like purple is where it's at. Purple is pushing it. And then it's going to be pink. And then I guess that's it. That's all we have. So 2 purples, pink. Looks like we have a couple of pink that we can use. And then I'm not even worried about the 4 for right now. Okay. So before we were generating 13,000 per second, right? 13,000 per second. Let's see what we can do. Can we do better than that with this setup? Because I think we can. So you place the relay down, and then you just on top, I'll just place that. And this is already going to start producing EMC. You can already see on our clock there, we're already producing the same amount of EMC that we were producing earlier. And then we're going to take the rest of them and just fill the sides. Like, just fill this thing up all the way around. Now we're producing 26, 29, 30, 32, 33, 34. We're producing 34,000 EMC a tick. Or EMC every 20 ticks or a second. That's why this setup is really the best way to go. But you need to get yourself a personal EMC link, which is kind of expensive early on. You can't just get it right away. But this is how I want to start generating. Once you start generating enough EMC, you get another EMC available to maybe get yourself another relay to throw on here. You can. You just throw another relay, add some more blocks, and you're good to go. You're going to start producing a bit more. I'm not worried about these like 44, like 12. I'm looking at like into the thousands a piece. So I would wait until you maybe get like the ability to pull out another like 1,000 extra a second, you know, something like that. Something that's actually worth your time. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And guys, good luck on your TBU production journey. Also your EMC gains, because I have a long time to wait for this stuff to get processed. But, you know, it's only going to take a little bit of time for you guys. All right, I'll see you guys in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.